Hey guys, today we are going to be comparing different materials to use for Halloween hologram projections. And what that means is you have your ghost or your character or whatever it is be transparent. You're basically trying to simulate a Pepper's ghost effect in where you have your character in sight, but you can also see through them. You have the room illuminated behind them. You can see into the room, you can see objects in the room, and the illusion you're trying to create is that you can see through this character. I haven't actually done the tests yet, but just looking at these materials, we're going to look at them here in a second, but I have a feeling some of these materials would work better outdoors than indoors, and other ones vice versa. I am not going to be getting into outdoor applications for these things simply because that's not the way I use it. What I do is what you're going to see later is basically present it in my living room window. I'm not going to go through the extra expense of buying extra material and the time and trouble of making another video for something that I'm never going to do myself. So if somebody else wants to pick up that ball and run with it, be my guest. In the meantime, let's look at our materials. Different fabrics today. We're going to start with the least expensive and proceed up to the most expensive. The first thing we have, yes, I'm a Beatles fan, get over it. This is a material called tulle, and the image on the right side of your screen is underneath the fabric. The image on the left is on top of the fabric. As you can see, this is very, very transparent, which may turn out to be a good thing or a bad thing. Very transparent things let a lot of light through, but they also don't capture a lot of light, so we don't know what the picture quality is going to be with this stuff. We will see. Here is what it is. It came from LA Linen. The color is gray. I got this on Amazon. 54 inches wide. You get a 40-yard bolt of this stuff. It comes out to 35 cents a yard. Even if you have to buy the 40 yards, it's still only $13.99. That is pretty much the biggest bargain on the table right now. All these things, I'm going to give you prices that do not include shipping, okay? So because, you know, people's circumstances are different. Somebody might have a Joann's Fabrics next door to them. Some people might be able to get the Atmosphere Effects Hollusion material locally. You know, so it's not fair to have shipping on one and not on another. So we're just going to say everything without shipping costs. But anyway, that is the tulle. $13.99 is what you're going to be laying down for it. The next candidate is mosquito netting. Still a pretty transparent material. Also a very, let me move around a little bit, very shiny material, which, I don't know, that probably would not be a good thing rear projecting, or I'm sorry, front projecting. Rear projecting, it might not matter. Projecting from the front of the screen, projecting from the same side as the spectator, I have a feeling that would make a big difference. It would really detract from the illusion. But whether or not it's going to come into play tonight, who knows? We'll see. This stuff is color gray, came from an online company called Sailrite. There's the item number, 54 inches wide, sold by the yard for $4.95. I put together, you know, all of these things, I put together when possible a 3-yard price for 3 yards of it, because the Atmosphere Effects stuff, you have to buy 3 yards of it. So I just wanted a fair comparison, apples to apples here. So the mosquito netting I found online, the price varies widely. Okay, so I tried to get something just kind of middle of the road here, $4.95 a yard. So for 3 yards, you're going to be putting down $14.85, and that is the mosquito knitting. This is chiffon. This is the stuff I used last year. I know this looks very opaque compared to the last two entries, but it produces an excellent, very sharp image. And when you have no frame of reference looking through this into a lighted room, it disappears. Trust me, you'll see it tonight. Whether or not it's better or worse than the others, I don't know. I just know I used it last year and it worked, hands down, without a question. I had people, I was stopping traffic and everybody's going, how did you do that? It's incredible. So I know for a fact this stuff works. This is Casa Collection Chiffon in Platinum from Joann's Fabrics. The bolt comes 58 inches wide, $7.99 a yard. 3 yards will run you $23.97. This is the stuff they use to make screen doors and screen windows out of. You could probably get this stuff or something very much like it at just about any home improvement store or hardware store. You can see, again, pretty good transparency. Also, a lot of shine. Again, not as much as the other stuff, but not bad. We'll see. We'll see how it works. This is fiberglass charcoal screen. The company's name is New York Wire. I got this at Lowe's. The roll you get is 60 inches, 25 feet long. Now that comes out to only $3.37 a yard, but when you are forced to buy 8 yards of it, you're laying down $26.98. Last but certainly not least is the Hollusion material from Atmosphere FX. You can see again, very much like the chiffon, this is a very, comparatively I should say, opaque material. But I'll tell you what, this is the stuff that started it all. This is what Atmosphere FX says they were using when they put that tutorial video on their website last year, without, naming exactly what this stuff is or, where to get it or anything, and not offering it for sale themselves yet. And last year it was making everybody pull their hair out. I want to do this, but what material do I use? And so people were trying different things like I was last year, and I landed on that chiffon. And like I say, it gave a really good result. Whether or not it's going to be better or worse than this stuff, we will see tonight. But atmosfx.com, Hollusion material, 66 inches wide. Far and away the most expensive of all these options, over $16 a yard. And again, you have to buy a 3-foot yard swatch of this, which is $49.99. Add in shipping, and if you have to, and you're paying some serious bucks for this stuff. So we'll see if it's worth it or not. Okay, this is the window where we're going to be doing the effect tonight. Plenty of lights inside, and we'll see how it goes. This is the Joann's Casa Collection chiffon. This is the screen door material. Absolutely no comparison here. This stuff is completely disqualified. This is the mosquito netting. The picture is not bad. It's not as good as the chiffon or the Atmosphere FX material. But what bugs me is the shininess of this stuff. I mean, you can see. Let me move around here. I mean, look at that. To me, that's obvious that there's something in the window. Maybe I'm being too nitpicky, and ordinary spectator who had no experience with this stuff wouldn't notice it. I don't know, but I definitely notice it. So this is out as far as I'm concerned. Okay, this is the tool. Definitely the most transparent of any choice. See, this stuff, I don't know why. This is throwing off the focus on my phone camera here, my camera phone. I don't know if you can tell this, but it's very pixelated. There's a good shot of it. It's good transparency. It's decent picture quality. See, look at that. Look how grainy that looks and pixelated. So let's back up a little bit here and take a look at it like this. Not bad, okay? Not great, but not bad. If transparency is more important to you than picture quality, then this is your stuff. But to me, it's it's night and day between this stuff and the chiffon or the atmosphere effect stuff. Both of those far superior picture quality to this. But like I say, to each his own, and this is very cheap stuff, so I'm not going to try to talk you out of it. Anyway, that's the tool. This is the Atmosphere Effects Hollusion material. Okay, this is a side-by-side comparison of we have on the left, we have the Joann's Fabrics Platinum Chiffon, Casa Collection Chiffon. On the right, we have the Hollusion material from Atmosphere Effects. And I don't know, I'm going to let you guys make the call on that. To me, that's a complete toss-up. The chiffon's a little bit lighter, and take a look, you make the call. That's a nice sharp picture with nice contrast, and so is that. So I don't know, this comes down to personal preference, I guess. Which how darkened out do you want your window to be? You can see the strip down the middle there, which is without either fabric, and that's what the color that the wall actually is. Now, do you want it to be a little bit lighter than that, or more than a little bit darker than that? It's a toss-up. It's hard to say. And since that's the case, I would have to recommend the chiffon for no other reason than because it's cheaper. These are almost identical picture quality wise, as far as I'm concerned. If you want to get the more expensive stuff, go right ahead. There's excellent picture quality on it, but also excellent picture quality on the chiffon, which is half the price. So it's your call. So there you have it. Please form your own opinions about what you just saw. That was the whole purpose of this entire exercise, but here's my 2 cents. The screen door material, out. Absolutely worthless image. Mosquito netting, very close behind. Slightly better image, but very shiny, very obvious. That's going in the trash can too. That leaves the chiffon, the Atmosphere Effects material, and the tool. Last place among those 3, but still acceptable to me, is the tool. All right, not the greatest picture, not as good as the other 2, but not horrible, not bad either. I don't know why my camera couldn't get a focus there for a while, because the stuff that's the most transparent fabric we were working with today. But whatever. I hope you saw when I got in close there a little bit, and you could see how grainy the picture was, how kind of pixelated. Now when I backed up, it looked okay. All right, so two situations there. Number one, if transparency is the absolutely most important thing to you, that is the most transparent stuff. To me, the chiffon and the atmosphere effect stuff is perfectly transparent when it has such a high picture quality, and you would have absolutely no idea it was there if you didn't already know. But if you have this thing about transparency, the tool is the most transparent. Now, that is also the reason, or shit, let me back up. The reason the tool is so transparent is because it has such an open weave. Okay, the threads are woven together with a lot of space between them, which lets a lot of light pass through. But for that exact same reason, it produces a less than optimal picture, because there is so much less surface area of the fabric for a projection to land on. So it gives you a grainy picture, a distorted picture, a pixelated picture, however you want to think of it. But so that's one example. If you need absolute transparency, that is your stuff. Number two, it is also the absolute cheapest stuff. If you need a lot of this stuff, or if you're at the absolute end of your wallet and you can't shell out $7.99 a yard for anything else, go for it. It's acceptable. It can do the job. Now that brings us to the last two, the chiffon and the atmosphere effects material. Looking at it, make your own call, because to me it's a toss-up. They both have outstanding picture quality, especially when I put them up there side by side. I could not tell a difference in picture quality between the two of them. They were both equally invisible to my eye. Now the chiffon will make, and again, when you had them side by side, there was that little strip down the middle of, nothing. You were just looking straight into the room. The chiffon makes everything appear slightly lighter than it is naturally. The atmosphere effects stuff makes things appear a shade or two darker than it actually is. If that matters to you, then go accordingly. But as far as picture quality and invisibility, indetectability, there's a good word. How about that? They're tied. They're neck and neck right down the road. So to me, bottom line, the tiebreaker for that is price, and the chiffons got it beat. When you're talking about this atmosphere effects material, which is excellent material, obviously we just saw it, but $16 a yard, and if you throw in shipping, if you can't get it locally, if you have to have it shipped, I think you're looking at over $20 a yard for that stuff. I can't justify it when I can find the chiffon right down the street from me for $7.99 a yard, and gives a completely equal result to me, to my eyes. Maybe I'm looking through rose-colored glasses because I'm so partial to this chiffon that I just found last year, but whatever. To me, it's a toss-up one way or the other. Like I say, look at the videos yourself, make up your own mind, and that's it. Hope you got something out of it. See ya.